Hey everyone, Tony D with a hot take. This one is about the CHAZ. In case you missed it, I did 5 videos yesterday, 5. And the 5th one is a BitChute exclusive on BitChute, link in the description. So follow me on BitChute because we don't know when YouTube's going to lower the hammer and cut just about everybody off. I mean, I think it's kind of inevitable at this point. So definitely follow me on BitChute. Even if you don't watch me on there on a regular basis, at least get your account set up. It's pretty easy. It's free. It's like old YouTube. Again, it doesn't have a search function, but you can follow my link, get to it, subscribe, and then you're all set. So when you're inevitably forced to go to BitChute to find videos like this, you'll be all set. Anyhow. So this is a follow-up to, again, the CHAZ. The CHAZ just won't die. So in case you hadn't heard, the CHAZ idiots, Antifa idiots, or whatever you want to call them, marched to the house of the mayor of Seattle. And they held like another big shindig where they screamed a bunch of demands and that they're never going to get. In their midst is a city councilwoman. I forget her name. She has a name that's difficult to pronounce. I believe she's Hindi, so it's like a Hindi name. Both surname and first and last names are both that way. So I don't remember it off the top of my head. Anyhow, she is even further to the left of the Seattle mayor, if you can believe it. Now, you'll recall that the Seattle mayor supported CHAZ and the CHOP, or whatever they're calling it. She supports all this lefty nonsense. She said, oh, thumbs up. She allowed the CHAZ to even happen in the first place. Even the mayor of Portland, who, by the way, is very left, shut that stuff down. Probably because it was in front of his house, his condo. But, not the mayor of Seattle. She thought it'd be a good idea to let it go. Not such a good idea. So there's been at least 5 shootings, 2 dead in an area of the city that my understanding was never that shooty, never that bad. Initially, I had heard Tim Pool say that back when he lived out there, it was actually a nice hipster neighborhood. And they do have a Trader Joe's nearby, right outside the CHAZ, which is closing down, by the way, thanks to the woke idiots. But now it's gone downhill somewhat, but it wasn't that bad. So they've destroyed this poor neighborhood. They're going to end up driving a bunch of people out. Developers are going to come in, buy everything up for cheap, and then turn it in again to boutiques and shops and candles. And oh, remember the CHAZ, Jeremy? Your mother and I protested in the CHAZ. So now the CHAZ has come out to the mayor's home, and suddenly she's very upset. I wonder why. You let this stuff go on, and then it ends up on your doorstep, and you wonder why you're upset. Yeah, that you now feel like the people in the CHAZ who lived in, apartments in that area feel. Only not as much, because you're still probably in a nicer area with plenty of cop protection that can't let you get, ruffled too badly. So you now know what it's like, Mayor. How's it feel? Doesn't feel too good, right? Doesn't feel too good when your security is stripped away from you. Now, you think her response would be, that's it. Send in the cops. I'm going to back you 100%. Get bulldozers. Get these people out of there. Arrest anybody who won't leave. Something like that. Her response is to investigate she's calling for an investigation of the city councilwoman who kind of led the protesters there, I think, kind of egged the protesters on. She's calling for the ouster of the mayor and impeachment. You should be impeached, Mayor, although probably not for the reasons that this lefty wacko wants. But you should be impeached. And now you're calling for an investigation into her. Yeah, that's not a very good look. You dummy, close down the CHAZ first. Close it down. Send in the cops. Give them the go-ahead. Give them the green light. Whatever you need to do to close this thing down. The repercussions don't matter anymore. You have to get a handle on this. You have to stop the crime. That's the number one concern. The crime that you were worried about when the protesters showed up to your house. Oh, horrors. You're like that couple in St. Louis, only you probably didn't have a gun to protect yourself. You just had all the cops at your disposal. You won't have the cops after you're not the mayor anymore. You'll just be another nobody standing on the street. So imagine you were just a nobody and they showed up at your house protesting because maybe they got the wrong address or they just decided you were too privileged to be in that house. Imagine that. Imagine how scared you would have been then. You have the power to do something. And just because you're closing down the CHAZ doesn't make you a racist. It doesn't make you racist. The CHAZ is out of control. There are people being shot. There are people running around with guns. It has to end. You never should have gotten this far. You got people tearing up a city park. They're defecating everywhere. No one's sending these people food anymore. What do you think's going to happen? You've had incident after incident. It's not pretty. This is not happy fun time. It wasn't anywhere close to the summer of love. Okay? Hippies were non-violent for the most part. For the most part. There were a handful of hippies that got, Weather Underground types. But most hippies just wanted to smoke pot and listen to Beatles music. These are not hippies. Okay? These kids have been radicalized by their college professor into thinking that the revolution is here. And you help them. You help them believe that the revolution is here. By allowing them to take over a part of your city, you're feeding into that delusion that they could actually make this work, that they could actually take over the whole city. They're not going to stop at 6 blocks. They want to take it all. They want to take it all. The only thing that's slowing them down is they didn't have a plan. I mean, they don't have a plan. Their plan is to tear everything down. That's about as far as their plan goes. To actually run things, yeah, it's not a plan. And these are not people who are self-reflecting. None of these people are going, man, this is really not going well. We should stop this. They're not doing that. They're blaming everybody else for their mistakes. Half of them already left and washed their hands of it. That was, I guess, the Democratic operatives there. But, I mean, these idiots offered, right in the beginning, offered up food, and the homeless people stole it all, and then they were begging for food, including vegan option and soy options. Do you think you can feed the homeless with vegan options and soy options and whatever? No, you can't. You can't. The homeless have to kind of take whatever food's available, unless they got some kind of serious allergy or whatever. But these kids can't run a city, okay? They can't run a piece of the city, even with, and these people are in danger. You're not sending the cops there. They're doing what they want. And those are just the crimes we know about. You have to assume there's like a bunch of crimes that'll never even go reported. There are people being sexually assaulted. I mean, you really want that on your head? You've got to go in there. You've got to turn the cops on these people. Clear the place out. It's like taking a Band-Aid off. It'll hurt for a minute, but after the place is cleared out and law and order is restored, well, then you can go back and hopefully fix things. And then maybe people could start to forget this horrible, horrible incident. But as long as this drags on, people are going to be furious at you. And the people who are furious at you, forget it. They're never going to vote for you. They're never going to vote for you because you abandoned them in the CHAZ. All those people, forget it. But there are more and more people getting on board with them the longer this goes on. The more every day there's another incident. You have to stop this. You have to close down the CHAZ permanently. This is not happy fun time. Wokistan was not happy fun time. If you've read my book, it was bad in Wokistan. And there was a reason for that. You put these kids in charge. They don't know what they're doing. They're trying to put this, they're all ideology and no practicality, none whatsoever. That everything's about the ideology, everything. If something doesn't work, they make an excuse for it. Everything's about that narrative. They have tunnel vision. If something doesn't work, it's some outside force or the patriarchy, or it's never them. It's never them. You have to go in there. They're going to blame you anyway. None of these woke idiots will vote for you. Most of them aren't registered to vote. They're stupid kids who have lost complete faith in the system. They're not going to vote. Not for Biden, not for you. They probably won't even vote for the idiot who's trying to unseat you. You have to go in there and clean up this mess. It's the only way to make it stop. It's the only way to stop your political career from being completely destroyed. It's the only shot you have. Stop the CHAZ today.